Imagine this. You're standing at the Jordan River just as Joshua and the worshipers step into the water. You are part of the next generation of wilderness wanderers. All you've known is the blistering heat and the desert sand. You were born and raised here. Your heart beats with expectation. Could this be the moment that Yahweh will intervene and finally bring you and your whole clan into the glorious and elusive land flowing with milk and honey? What will this new life entail? Suddenly before your eyes, the waters of Jordan part as the priests step in on dry ground. Within a short few weeks, your entire life is about to change. You have developed a unique skill set in the wilderness. You can erect and pack down your tent in record time. Your strength and stamina to carry loads for kilometers would rival a camel, and you're the fastest manna gatherer in your whole family. As beautiful as the next season will be, it will be uncomfortable. Perhaps something that you don't realize yet is that many of the skills that you are competent in this season will not nearly be as important in the next season. And there's about to be a huge learning curve. You will own land, but you will have to learn a huge amount about farming and agriculture. Your tent erecting skills will be replaced with building permanent dwellings. In the wilderness, your clothes didn't wear out, but now you will need to make or purchase clothes. I know that just about every believer would say amen to embracing the new thing that the Lord is doing. But how much do we realize that with every season change, there is a cost and discomfort? I don't know about you, but I feel that this season is thrilling but very uncomfortable for me. Skills that I've developed in the previous season seem less important, and in some way I feel like a kid learning to ride a bike all over again. I so empathize with everyone that may feel unsettled or uncomfortable. Perhaps things feel chaotic, messy, and unpredictable. You may have asked the question, where do I fit? There are so many answers that we do not have, as we have never been here before. This is uncharted waters. In Matthew 9, John's disciples approached Jesus about the fact that his disciples didn't fast as often as the Pharisees. Jesus replies in verse 19, "Neither do men pour new wine into old wineskins. If they do, the skins will burst, and the wine will spill, and the wineskins will be ruined. Instead, they pour new wine into new wineskins, and they are both preserved." Jesus says this because new wine expands in size and can break a brittle old wineskin, losing the wine. We know that Jesus fasted and continues to exhort us to fast. But something that was good in the previous season can become a religious form that can prevent us from entering the new season. I'm so grateful for a new wineskin community that is willing to let go of tradition and embrace discomfort to take hold of the new thing. I recently read a book by Craig Groeschel, who is the founder and senior pastor of one of the largest churches in the U.S., Life Church, a multi-site mega church with locations in 12 U.S. states. I have to say, I was not expecting Craig to make this observation about the current model of church. In his book, Craig shares about the way that church models have evolved. He says, in the 1950s, it was normal for an American family to attend church. Most church buildings looked similar, and they were attractive and ornate, displaying stained glass windows featuring tall steeples. Most sanctuaries were long and narrow with wooden seats called pews. When people sang worship, they did it to organ accompaniment. People loved it until they didn't. As values and interests shifted, a newer generation started to attend church less. Enter the renegade spiritual leaders of the 1980s. With an undying loyalty to the church and an aching love for the lost, some young revolutionary and harshly criticized pastors blazed new spiritual trails. They stopped insisting that godly men wore suits and that godly women wear dresses to worship. They changed the standards almost overnight. These churches screamed, "Come as you are. Everyone is welcome." And for the first time, people wore blue jeans, some wore tennis shoes, and even a baseball cap. Rather than hard, uncomfortable pews, churches had soft, comfortable chairs. They stopped singing from a book, started viewing words on a screen. Rather than singing with an organ, churches worshiped with a band. Pastors who started a new way of church did it because they cared about people who were without Christ. But what was new and different 30 or 40 years ago is mostly normal. Most newer church buildings look mostly the same. Instead of having an altar, they have a stage. Instead of having a solemn atmosphere, the worship feels more like a rock concert. The lobbies are bigger and offer refreshments, and if the church can afford it, their kids' rooms rival Disney's. Yes, I'm aware that I could be describing my own church. The problem is that the power is not in the model. I'm even beginning to wonder if the model that we are using is tired. The new style of church isn't new anymore. I might even suggest that contemporary is the new traditional. It may be time for the style of church to change again." Unquote. I believe that we could be a part of the early adopters embracing a new model and wineskin. As Nate Johnston prophesied, if we don't take a risk, we may lose a generation. We're going to seek the Lord, and at times we're going to fall short. We're going to look like we don't know what we're doing. We're going to miss things. We're going to launch things that don't work out. We're going to seek the Lord more, and we're going to try new things. Some people may leave, and some new ones join. New groups will launch, and others shut down. Some people may launch or try a few groups before they truly find family. We don't expect this all to happen overnight, and deep kingdom connections take time to form. I just know that we have to wrestle with the Great Command and the Great Commission. If we do what we've always done, we'll get what we've always got. We have come so far, and we can't go back. There's just so much at stake. I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your faithfulness, your flexibility, your adaptability, your patience and grace during a time where we feel like novices in this new season and learners in uncharted waters. We are pioneering for the next generation. Let's get comfortable with discomfort.